I've been getting heaps of DMs on Instagram about how I leveled up my physique. How have I managed to go from here to here in what seems like the space of a year? I went from skinny post-hospital, no gains, to maintaining a big, juicy, fake natty Instagram daddy physique whilst enjoying the fruits of life. Long story short, about a year ago, I was sent to hospital. Well, not sent to hospital. I had to go to hospital because I had some problems with my knee, and I was in hospital for about a month with an infection, had multiple knee surgeries, lost all my gains, and came out looking like this, which obviously isn't good. Then over the next year, I trained really, really hard, implemented these new things into my training, and managed to get the best physique that I have ever had throughout the summer, hold on to it, and effectively level up my physique. I got heaps of DMs from people. Like, the most commonly asked question is, Mo, how have you leveled up your physique from what it previously seemed to be? It's like a league above what it was. So maybe you've been training for a while, maybe you're new to training, but long story short, you want to level up your physique. What are the secrets that have leveled up my physique? Well, I'm going to share them with you right now, and it begins with TRAING, training. It's training. Training really hard. I'm joking. I'm not using any kind of anabolic substances. Anyway, these are the 5 things that I did to level up my physique, and the 5 things that you could do as well. Number 1 is a super simple one, and probably not the one that you're going to want to hear because it is so simple and obvious, and that is effort. I literally put more effort into my training and trained with more intention and more purpose. A lot of people think because I've been in hospital, because I've had all these setbacks, because I've had all these surgeries on my knee and not been able to walk, etc., and had all this like stuff taken away from me, that it actually make my physique worse. And yeah, at the time it sucks. It's not great. It's like, it does strip away pretty much everything that I've built over the last few years. Since I've been released from hospital, I've been so motivated to surpass where I was and get back and beyond and be fitter and healthier and better than ever before. And that has meant that I've been training with intention, training with purpose. Every one of my sessions, I've put effort into my sessions. And this is like a really obvious first one, but it's like a lot of people overlook it. You get out what you put in. If you want to do anything, if you want to be great at anything, you have to put the effort into it. Training, business, school, university, whatever it is, if you want to get good grades, you have to put effort in. And too many people go in the gym, do the same shit week in, week out, not putting any effort in, doing their like 8-kilogram dumbbell curls, like standing there talking to their mate. Then they wonder why they look the same. And it's because they don't put enough effort in with their training. And for me, like, I had this period in my life in the last few years where I was coasting a little bit, where I had all the things that I wanted. I had a pretty good physique. And the reason that it wasn't progressing from that is because I was content and I wasn't putting in any additional effort. When I came out of hospital, I was like, let's fucking go, boys. Let's absolutely smash this. And I've been training with intention and purpose and smashing the sessions. I'm focusing on, this is the main thing, progressive overload every session, making sure I'm lifting more weight or doing a couple of extra reps. I've been tracking my progress with an app called Rep Count. You can also use the Strong app as well. Both great apps for tracking. And basically what that does is ensuring that every week when I go in the gym, I'm putting maximal effort in and progressively overloading. So every week that I go in, I'm making sure that I'm either doing a few more reps or a little bit more weight. Seems kind of obvious, but sometimes the simplest answers are the ones or the things that you're lacking on and the things that you need to do more of. So, and for me, that was like effort. Leading on from effort is another seemingly stupid, obvious one. When I first started training, I'll go through these phases of training super hard and then not training as hard or not training at all. If I've just got bored of training and had a few days off because I've been ill, or maybe something's come up, or maybe I just didn't want to train that day. And the biggest thing that I lacked was consistency. So that's the second one. Consistency is obvious, but it is a massive one. And in the last year, since I've leveled up my physique, consistency has been something that I've taken a lot more seriously. Whether I'm motivated to train or not, I'll go into the gym and I'll put the effort into my training session. I'll make sure I train with 100% effort as I'm supposed to, trying to push those PRs, trying to progressively overload on those days. I won't rely on motivation, like making me to go in there and train. I'll train as well with like this sense of purpose. Like, I know why I'm doing it. I want to become a better version of myself. I want to show other people that they can do it as well. Like, you can transform your physique, become healthier, which is going to benefit you from a physical point of view and massively from a mental point of view as well. It's going to change your entire reality. So I know why I'm training. I have a purpose. I'm going in the gym, doing the repetitions, doing what I'm meant to do, and just not half-assing it and having these big breaks of time off. Paradoxically, leading on from this is don't work too hard. Over this last year, and you're like, Mo, hang on, this is just going against everything you just said. So this is a weird one, really, man. Like, it's very easy to get absolutely obsessed with training and your purpose and your mission, if you're someone that's motivated and you're like, you want to get in there and you want to train, etc., etc. But like I said a minute ago, it's also very easy to get burnt out. And when I first started training, like I said, I'd go in the gym and I'd have these weeks of really good training, smashing all my PRs, getting bigger, getting stronger, and then I'd have this time off. And it's because I either got bored of it or I felt burnt out. And it's like, you can only do something with maximal effort without having a break or without enjoying other aspects of life for so long. It's all about making this thing sustainable. You want to transform your body, you want to transform your physique, you want to level up, and that's a lifestyle change. It's not something you do for a few days or a few weeks or a few months or even a few years. If you want to like really get this top tier incredible physique, it is an entire lifestyle change. I've gone through phases as well where I wouldn't go out to meals, I'd track every single gram of macros. I wouldn't go on holiday somewhere if there wasn't a good gym. What I'm trying to say is it's all about balance and making it sustainable and just making sure you're consistent with everything, like I said, but also not worrying about so much every now and then having a meal off when you need it. Or if you do need a break from training, having a training break when your body needs a break. Or if you want to do something fun one day, shifting your training sessions forwards for one day isn't going to be the end of the world. As long as your time on is time on. So when you are training, you're working hard, you're smashing it, you're progressively overloading, you're putting the effort in, and you're overall consistent. Like, don't be afraid to take that time off. For example, with the training, I used to be all or nothing. So if something goes wrong in my schedule, or used to go wrong in my schedule, then it would all fall to pieces. Like if I couldn't go and do my cardio, then I might like absolutely screw up my diet. Or if I couldn't train with the equipment that I wanted to use that was in my program, then everything would fall to pieces and go to shit. If I was on holiday, for example, I just wouldn't train. It's like, make adaptations as well to your training. So for example, a lot of the time this year, I've been traveling lots, and whereas in the past, I probably would have just stopped training if I couldn't train in like a good place, or if I couldn't do my cardio, just wouldn't do it. I've been making adaptations to that. So I'd go for a run instead of doing like 30 minutes walking on a treadmill. I'd do an outdoor bodyweight workout if I couldn't get into the gym. I stayed consistent with things, but I wouldn't beat myself up if everything didn't go perfectly to plan as well. And I'd make sure that I got that time off and actually enjoyed the whole process of transforming my body, man. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to like it. You can't just be like in this perpetual state of pain 24/7. You have to like integrate things or have things about like this lifestyle shift that you enjoy in order to make it sustainable. So how are you going to do that? What are you going to do? And for me, leveling up my physique and making like this physique change sustainable has been about making adaptations to the training, doing that cardio, like going for a run if I have to, getting those steps in, going for like a long walk in the outside world rather than just doing it on a treadmill, having like that meal out, making healthy choices at dinner, etc., rather than just eating fucking chicken and broccoli out of Tupperware and training the gym 24/7. The fourth thing that had a massive impact on leveling up my physique was changing my training style. So back in the day, I used to do heaps and heaps and heaps of volume. So I'd do loads and loads of sets and reps, and then I'd probably train for like 2, even 3 hours sometimes. I used to train legs 3 times a week for like 2+ hours in order to build my legs. And that's going to be detrimental, man. And it's not sustainable either, training for that long term. So the biggest thing in terms of my training was switching up my training styles to a low volume, high intensity style of training. So when I go into the gym, I'll do less sets than the average person. I might only do 2 sets per exercise, but the quality of the sets, the intensity of the sets is like 100% all out, balls to the wall effort. So a typical workout for me might look something like, let's say if I train chest, might look something like this. It used to look like this, which is way too much volume in my opinion, but now it looks more something like this. And the working sets that I'm doing are going to be quality sets. So those sets that are in the program there or in that day on the program are to absolute failure. So that means where I can't physically push the weight or move the weight anymore. As someone that's entrepreneurial, as a natty lifter, as someone that's on the go a lot and has a busy life and other things that they want to do in their life beyond the gym, but they want to maximize their progress in the gym, this high intensity, low volume style of training for me completely transformed my physique. And the other thing is, man, is like we take the path of least resistance. We are humans at the end of the day. And like, I'm not saying that not training till failure, it isn't bad. There's research that shows that you can get pretty similar end results with high intensity, low volume volume and lower intensity, high volume style of training. The endpoint might be similar in studies, but the point of failure is always going to be the point of failure. Like there's no RPE 7 or training until you're 4 reps shy of failure or 3.79 reps of failure. Like we're not robots. It's like a black or white yes or no. And like I said, we're not robots, we're humans. And I find that just really, really makes the task of training a lot more simplistic and makes it an arbitrary. Did you tick this box? Yes, no. If you tick the box, yes, the set is done, on to the next set. And it's the best way. It's like the gold standard for natty, busy lifters, in my opinion, when it comes to training. I started training when I was like 15 or 16 years old. I'm 26 now, so that's 10 years of training under my belt. And I've tried every training method under the sun. I've been through periods where I just go into the gym and I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm going to train. I don't know what day I'm going to train what. I have days where I kind of know what I'm going to train, but then I just make up the workouts as I go along. I've done everything. And it's only this last year that I've been absolutely dedicated to following a structured training plan, and the difference that has made on my physique and my results even after 10 years of training has been absolutely massive. So the 5th point I would say is follow a training plan or get a coach, or both. I coach people one-on-one, so I obviously know what I'm doing, but I pay for a coach myself as well. And the reason for that is because you want to be following some kind of structured plan or have some structure in place. Having someone to stay accountable to just keeps you working that a little bit harder, and then having a structured program to follow as well, knowing exactly what you're doing on what days and knowing what you did the previous week in terms of lifts so you can lift more than you did last week is so important for progression. Because like I said earlier, we are inclined to follow the path of least resistance, and more often than not, it's the things that are difficult, the things that we don't want to do are the things that we need to do, like training legs. So get on a structured plan, get on a coach if you can afford it, if you're really serious about your training. But I would say, like, for the vast majority of people, get on a structured training plan where you know exactly what you're doing week in, week out, what day, how many sets, how many reps, what exercise you're doing, what you did last week, and just keep it simple and just build off that. Make sure you're lifting more weight, doing more reps, and tracking those things as well, and you will progress. That is probably the biggest one out of this whole list that made me level up my physique consistently and really, really get towards those guys at the top who have this like sick, crazy physique all year round. I'm still trying to work at it. I'm still trying to get there. It's like I'm working it out as I go, but I've 100% leveled up from what I previously was. If you want to get any custom training and meal plans, I have a platform called Physique Incubator that can do that just for you as well. I've got a coaching call right now, but Physique Incubator, get involved, join the community of hundreds of other lads all doing the same thing, transforming physically and mentally, bettering themselves. Like I said, custom training meal plans, link down below. Anyway, people, got to do this call. I'm running late for it. Peace out. I love you to bits. Thank you. Good night.